Okay. So go ahead.
I'll come back on. You can pause the recording if you want, and we can come back to this part.
Okay.
So, good morning.
Good.
Welcome to the mindfulness meditation class. We're going to be spending an hour together practicing meditation, talking about meditation, learning about how to apply it in our lives. And I have some handouts for you that we're going to go over. Two key points to understand about this practice. It's a training of your mind and your heart. And your heart. So we say mindfulness, we think it's just the mind, but the training of our mind and heart is how to deal with life, how to face life, how to see and be with what's happening. How do we look at things? How do we relate to things? Do we respond to them or do we react to them? So in the most practical way, meditation is about just seeing things as they are and being aware of what's getting stimulated inside your thoughts in your mind, the sensations in your body, the emotions in your heart. Now, I teach you as a meditation teacher, a trained meditation teacher. I teach you as a therapist, as a mind-body therapist, and I teach you as a doctor, as a scientist, as a naturopathic physician, mind-body medicine specialist. So all of that is integrated in this class, which will integrate the practice of meditation and how and why it's helpful to deal with your stress, your pain, your illness, your life, the challenges of aging, our griefs, our fears, our regrets, how it shows up in our minds and our thoughts and anxieties and fears, how it shows up in our bodies with aches and pains and diagnoses and illness, and how it shows up in our heart with grief. Now, the point of that is to be happy. So I wrote a little book, which is also available on the internet, called Happiness Through Meditation. So we talk about stress, and we come here because we want to focus, and we come here because we're in pain, and we come here because we want to deal with life better, etc. But the bottom line is to be happy. Be happy in the moment. So if you watch babies, they go from happy to sad, but you know, the joy in a baby's face, they're in the now. And for anybody who has a pet, you know, just watching, go to a dog park and watch the owners of the dogs romping around in the park. You see, they're in the moment. They're in the now. We live our lives carrying stuff from the past. We live our lives projecting and fearful of the future. So meditation, a lot is about being in the moment with things as they are. It's not close my eyes so I have no stress. It's not close my eyes so I can avoid my pain. It's not close my eyes so I never feel anything. It's the opposite. It's let me look inside and let me be with what's happening and find a way to be at peace no matter what. Serenity is not freedom from the storm. It's peace amidst the storm. And when there's no storm, then we enjoy the sunshine and we enjoy the sunrise and we enjoy the joy and the beauty. But you don't want to be, as we joke with my classes sometimes, you know, you don't want to be at a graduation or a wedding and be worrying about what happened yesterday or what tomorrow. You want to be in the moment, enjoying the happiness of the now. Sometimes we're carrying too much stuff. From a mind-body standpoint, the phrases are the body bears the burden. This is the topics of the latest books on mind-body medicine. The body keeps the score. The body remembers, scared, sick. If we don't face our issues with calm and peace and compassion, heart, the stress of it is what eventually, it's real. We get a diagnosis, but the stress is what makes us a little sicker. So we want to integrate that into our lives to be happier, to face what's happening as best we can. And that actually is the medicine. It's not in place of a drug or surgery or an herb or a vitamin or a healthy diet or a massage or positive thinking. But as a medicine, when we change our mind, when we change how we look at things, things change. When our attitude shifts, when we turn a problem into an opportunity, when we hold on to the anger towards somebody and we can feel the pressure goes up and the tension is there, and then we forgive them. Person didn't do anything. We just changed our attitude towards it. So you're in charge of how you look at things, and you're in charge of how you be with things. But if you're not aware of what's happening, you're at the mercy of your old habits and conditioning. The biggest scientific breakthrough that we have learned about meditation and the mind is called neuroplasticity, that you're not stuck in the way you have been conditioned to think or be. You have to adapt, adjust, and be resilient. You don't get to 99 or 89 or 79 years old and not coming to terms with stresses and challenges and traumas, and your body mind finds a way to be resilient, to respond to them so that you can get through it. Everybody in this room and anybody who's listening to this out there, if people are listening, you're going to have a stress. You're going to have an issue in your body or your mind or your heart or your life. And if you've been to my classes, you know I joke, see if you want to trade with anybody. Because we all get something. And the real question is, how do I deal with it? If you're getting old, this is in the Westport Center for Senior Activities. You're not going to think as well as you did when you were younger. You're not going to remember as well. Your back is going to hurt. Your stomach is going to hurt. It's just overuse. You're going to get arthritis. You're going to have anger and hurt from the past, from a divorce, from a death, from something. And the question is, how do I deal with that? And I'm just giving you a background, my perspective on why we teach this. You can't take it with you. You know, you don't need it. You don't want to carry it around with you. And if you've been at hospice where people are dying as a natural part of life, what happens is they let go and they find peace. Well, you don't have to wait. You can find peace now. And so there's a phrase, for yesterday is but a dream, and tomorrow is only a vision. But today, well lived, makes every yesterday a dream of happiness and every tomorrow a vision of hope. So when you're in the moment, you have happiness and hope and peace. You're not living in the past and you're not worried about the future. Doesn't mean you don't plan. It means what's happening now. I can give you a zillion examples. So we have to face our issues, make wise choices about what to do and what response we're going to have. But how do we relate to them? Do we see it? So that's what the practice is. And you're training your mind, because our reaction to difficulty, a negative thought, a painful emotion, a hurt in the body is, get out of here, I don't want you. We push it away. Or we take something to make it go away, to get rid of it. That's fine, but we never get through it. We never really face it to deal with it. And that's really the essence of stress and stress management, is how do you face it to deal with it, not get through it without that. So I'm going to give you the handouts. Jason is going to help us. Take a handout, everybody. And really, our teachers here, we're all a teacher, because we've all had stresses and challenges in life. We all know how and what it feels like to be happy and healthy. And many of us are mindful in the moment in different parts of our life. Whether we're carpenters or golfers or artists or mothers or grandmothers, we're in the moment paying attention to what's happening. And when we're in that moment, is when the mind and body are most in sync. We're not adding to our stress. So mindfulness trains your mind to be here now, to be in the present moment. And all the top golfers, all the top tennis players, all of the basketball players, this is in sports, writers, athletes, in business now. I've been teaching it in hedge funds and business people. And of course, as a doctor, therapist in healthcare. Meditation, mindfulness-based stress reduction. My take is we don't want to reduce our stress. We want to transform it. How do you transform it? By how you choose to see it and how you choose to be with it. But first, you have to see what's happening. Oh, I'm resisting. Oh, I'm in pain. How can I be with it in a healing way? And what I handed out to you are these handouts. First handout we're going to go over. As I said, I'm going to do some teaching first. This class is going to be 3 things. It's only a 2-week class, but you can learn everything you need. You can learn and practice in this 2-week class. You got to practice. I'm going to teach you how to meditate. Simple techniques, zillion techniques on the internet, YouTube. Very simple one, which we're going to practice. Close your eyes, watch your breath. When your mind wanders, bring it back. Take your puppy dog for a walk. Your mind is like a puppy dog. It's going to wander, bring it back to the moment. What's it going to do again? It's going to wander, bring it back. You don't kick it, you don't judge it, you don't blame it, you don't yell at it. You go, that's my mind, it's not trained, bring it back. That's the puppy dog, it's a puppy dog. One of the people in our class, in our Thursday class, just got a puppy dog. They're so happy. They have to train it, it's jumping all over the place. But if they didn't understand, we have to train it and figure it out, this and that. And they reacted every time the puppy dog, no, bring the puppy dog back. It's running away. Bring it back, bring it back, bring it back. That's why we have a leash. So mindfulness is bringing your mind back to the moment, training it. I said training the heart, it's compassion. Why compassion for seniors? Because we all have suffering. We all have pain. Forget our own lives. Everybody here, I'm guessing, we're all over 70. Maybe one. Everybody here, some of us are over 80. Some of us over 90. We've all lost a loved one. That's grief. That's pain. That hurts. We've all lost friends. We've all had disappointments in life. We've all had challenges, problems. How did we deal with them? And we need to train our heart to face that part of life. Just compassion, kindness. We beat ourselves up. We judge other people. This is life. This isn't God punishing you. So many of my patients, mind and body, is like, oh, it shouldn't. It should not that it should be. Like it shouldn't be happening. It happened. It's not happening. It's happening to everybody. This is life. This is part of being human. To get old, to get sicker, to have your mind not function 100%, to have your body have aches and pains. If you should fight it by trying to be healthy and coming to a class like this to learn how to deal with it better. Eat healthier, to take classes, to have fun, to learn, to grow, to face your issues, to be in a support group. But if the attitude is, this shouldn't be happening, I don't want it to happen, you're going to suffer. That's the suffering. What's happening is not the challenge. Because if that wasn't happening, something else would happen. There's nobody in this room or anybody I've taught in my last 20 years here that doesn't have an issue in their mind, in their body, in their heart, in their life. That's been a difficult. And I've been sitting listening to patients for 40 years. It's not something that they've gone through. They go, oh boy, I'm glad I'm going to go through it. I'm going through it. The same thing as everybody else. I'm human. I'm going to get an ache. I'm going to get a pain. I'm going to get diagnosed with a disease. My hearing is going to get worse. My sight is going to get worse. My memory is going to get worse. I'm getting old. I don't want to get old. Good luck. Instead of I'm older, that's good. It's part of life. How can I be as old and happy as I can be? Yeah, see, that's just a shift of attitude to face it, to come to terms with us. So we're going to go over this first handout. I'm going to write it on the board because your homework for this class is when I teach you the 10-minute practice, which we're going to do. You're going to practice it every day for 10 minutes. You're going to take your puppy dog mind for a walk to train it. And I'm going to teach you 5 minutes on how to be kind to yourself instead of beat yourself up and judge yourself for being bad or stupid or not perfect. So you're going to practice those 10 minutes. And I want to help your memory. You're going to memorize these 7 intentions. I'm going to share about the other handouts at the end because I'm going to ask you to read them between now and next week. But this 7 intentions I'm going to write on the board. I'm going to ask you to memorize them. One of my students, I can even mention his name. His name is Herb. No. Herb Podell. He's my best student. Been coming to my classes for 20 years. He carries this around in his pocket. And he says, this teaching has helped me. And he's a little younger than you. He's 98. Changed his life. Because he has a tool, he has a way of responding, a way of being. and dealing with the difficulties that will and do show up in our life, whether we're 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, or next year 100. This is how we get there. So this is kind of the Bible, if there was such a thing, of meditation. This is the important teaching in the class. So you have a practice, walk your puppy dog mind, which you're going to do right after this. You have teachings, which I'm going to give you now, these 7 intentions and 2 more that I'm going to write on the board that's not on here, generosity and gratitude to practice. And then the rest is living it in your life, apply it to your life. How can I live this? And I guarantee, because trust me, I'm a doctor, this is medicine now. Now, I've been teaching this for 40 years. It wasn't medicine 40 years ago. So we didn't know about the brain and neuroplasticity. You have a handout about that the brain changes. When you meditate, you change your brain. When you meditate, you change your immune system and you're stronger and healthier. When you're not scared and you're not afraid and you can be in the moment. It also affects your genes at the cellular level and actually heals the trauma that we live with and pass on to next generations. You've heard the line that we're only using a small part of our brain. Right? But when we meditate, we're turning our brain into the #1 medicine cabinet with awareness and with love and compassion. It's not complicated. It's just that I don't have to tell any of you, we don't live in a world filled with love and compassion. Unfortunately, it would be nice. We have it here at the senior center. Right? This is why we all come, because we support and connect. Okay, so I'm going to put these on the wall, on the board right here. And then as I write them, I'm going to say a few things. Then I'm going to ask you, I want you to think about it as I write it. Which one of these is easy for you? And which one is hard? Like, it's hard for me to, I don't understand. Or I do that all the time. I'm good. But, oh, this one is really hard for me. So you want to kind of see what you're already doing and what's difficult. And we'll talk a little bit more, and then we're going to practice the meditation. And at the end, we'll share how to apply it to your life, to focus, to stress, to pain, to fear, whatever it is. For me, it's to make the putt on the 18th green. First, it's to make it and then not kill myself and beat myself up because I don't make it. Yeah. Okay. You got to get it. You got to do it in both. Okay. So let's go through this. You can sit in my chair. I want to write it because it's very important. These are what. Because our get rid of what's that is our intention. But how do we get there? By these intentions. Number 1, non-judgment. Our mind doesn't. Yeah, I hate this. I don't hate that. They're smart. They're stupid. It's okay to judge. We have to be discerning. I want to eat here or do that, but we don't realize how judging mind. The point of these intentions, if we're judging everything, we can't see the truth. So when I overreact to a patient, my first reaction is judging. I don't see who they really are. Miss who they are. The point of these intentions is to see the truth, to be with things as they are. Judge somebody, you're labeling them, you're putting them in a category. Not that you shouldn't have awareness, but non-judging. Oh, I'm doing it wrong. I'm doing it right. I like it. I don't want to judge. Mind that judges. Here's one. Now, you teach what you need to learn. You practice what you teach what you need to learn. I'm not Mr. Patience, so I've had to learn how to sit on a pillow and stop jumping around. They called it ADD. Whatever. Patience. going? We're always in a rush, trying to get somewhere. Get my point. Just drive around Westport or anywhere. We're not going anywhere, but people are right on your behind. I like to look at this thing. Like, where you going? There's nowhere to go. Give me a little. Take it easy. You're on a crowded highway, like because they don't have any. And I'll tell you that for medicine and healing, the number one, these are so important because by the time a patient sees me, unfortunately, not that I have the answers, I'm gonna cure everybody, but I'm the last person they come to because first they tried to get fixed and cured every place else. When they come to see me, I want them to get cured and fixed. I help them see the right doctors and make sure they're doing that too. But be patient. Healing is a process. It takes time. There's no quick fix and magic cure. The more we're learning how to be in. So the backdrop of all of this is how to be where, here, how to be here when, now. That's good. Where am I? What am I doing? Now. Not complicated, but we're not trained to be here now. We're trained to be. We have to face our issues. We have to plan, but we can do it in that way. Number 3, very important. Beginner's mind. In a beginner's mind, there are many possibilities, and the experts, there are few. We're all so conditioned in the way we are. We have to be willing to let go and to change a little bit, to see things, to see it with new eyes. So the phrase here, the journey of discovery is not seeking new landscapes, it's seeing with new eyes. That's what meditation and mindfulness is. New eyes, without judgment, with new eyes where you're patient, with new eyes you're open to seeing things fresh and new for the first time. That's how you get to 99 and 100. Every day is a new day. What can I learn today? Every day is bingo. Every day is, when's my number going to hit? Next one, trust. Process. Trust yourself. And what's so amazing as a doctor, therapist, is all the techniques I've learned, all the treatments, all the therapies, the ones that work the best and the most and the longest and the deepest are the ones that you heal yourself. You engage in your relationship with your illness, disease. You change your mind, your attitude, your beliefs by simply being mindful, being here now. These 7 intentions. 9. Think about it. Which is easy for me? Which is not easy? Number 5. Non-striving. Those for the people, this is for the people who are perfectionists that I'm going to meditate if it kills me, and I'm going to deal with my stress, and I'm going to be the best. I mean, that's striving a little too hard. So it's finding a middle ground. You have to make effort, but you do it without striving in a pushing way, in a I have to way, in a perfectionistic way. It takes a while. So you do have to make an effort to sit down and to meditate and to bring awareness to these intentions and to train your mind like a puppy dog and bring your mind back. So it's a lot of effort involved. But striving is, I'm going to get this. So it's a little too much pushing, forcing, attachment to the result. But probably things are as they are, not as I wish them to be. Now, acceptance doesn't mean I don't want it to change. Acceptance means I start from accepting this is what's happening. Now, what's the best way I can respond to it? Instead of reacting because I don't want this to be, and then you never find out. Understand? So this is about relationship. It's about resilience, about how you respond, not react. It's about reflecting. It's about taking a minute to breathe and be in the moment and say, what's the best course of action? How can I be with this? Not just what do I do to fix it and get rid of it. This is a different training. Now this is another context here, which I speak from my point of view, as a doctor and therapist. The paradox is we have a whole healthcare system that has great medicine and great therapies, and we need the drugs and surgery, but we do it in a way that says, get rid of it, get rid of it, get rid of it. It doesn't do it from a place of, let's understand it, listen to it. Maybe the drug is the right treatment, the surgery, but let's have an attitude towards it, a little more loving and accepting. Then the only answer is to get rid of it. So if I have a patient with chronic pain and they come to see me, they want to get rid of it. I understand. And they've gone to the neurologist and the rheumatologist and the whatever, better doctors than me, smarter than me in that specialty, right diagnosis and treatment, but the patient's still in pain. And you know what the issue becomes oftentimes? Their attitude towards it, they're fighting so hard, they're striving so hard, they're impatient, they're trying to get rid of it, they hate it. I say, let's see if we can relate to it a little differently. Let's see if we can be in the moment and find a way to relax with it and accept it. Not I don't want it to go away, but I'm not going to fight it so much because that creates a lot of the stress and tension that keeps for that attitude. So we can both heal it and cure it without pushing so hard. And so they'll say, why are you here? Well, I want to get rid of this. And they've been trying to get rid of it for a long time. And I say, well, I'm going to help you be with it. And we joke and they'll say, well, I don't want to be with it. I've been with it for 20 years. I'm going to teach you how to be with it in a different way. Change how you look at it. Change how you be with it. It changes your mind and body are intimately connected. You've all heard of it. What is that? You see, I see a beautiful woman and part of me would get excited. That's the mind-body connection. Someone says they're having baked salmon tonight, which might be my favorite healthy meal to eat. My mouth is gonna water. I'm thinking about things that scare me, my blood pressure is going up. This is the mind-body connection. You're in charge. You don't realize how much conditioning you have, how many patterns you've created in your mind and body and brain. That you can change, being aware of them. This is about awareness, self-regulation. Self-regulation. I'm giving a lecture. You know what the number one fear in people's lives is? Not dying. It's giving a talk in front of people. Not necessarily for me per se, I enjoy it. It's kind of what I do for a living. And I like teaching and I like sharing what I'm teaching. But where it was one time I had to give a big lecture for 1,000 people at a hotel. This was like 25 years ago. It was the first time I gave a big lecture in that kind of setting. The speaker before me, this was in Reno, Nevada, was the governor of the state. I don't know how I ended up being the speaker the next month at this power breakfast meeting in Reno, Nevada. Business. They wanted something. Members was a patient and got me the gig to speak. And there was a part of me that was like anxious. And I had to be aware. Part of me is anxious. I couldn't go on stage with 1,000 people. I hope you understand what I'm saying. I never spoke with 1,000 people before. Like, I'm a good talker, but so I had to be aware. Part of me is a little anxious. I have to take a breath. I have to be in the moment. I have to self-regulate. Nick and I share a love of golf. How does Jack Nicklaus and Tiger Woods make that 30-foot putt at the major? Because they're in the moment. They're calm. You don't think there's a part of them scared to death? They go, you guys don't miss it. But they have mind control, body control, regulation, self-regulation, not to react. That's what we learn in these ways. Number seven. We talked about this. We said about let go. Let go. Now, this is not close your eyes and everything is fine. That's how people used to think about meditation. It's not what this is. You can and will get peaceful and calm in the moment, peace in the storm, by facing what's happening, by bringing your practice, by cultivating these intentions and ways of being in your practice and in your life. Two more. Give others, do unto others, give to others. Don't focus so much on me, and mine. That's why as seniors, the number one thing that you can do is volunteer and help somebody else. And but for the grace of God go I, and there's always somebody who has it worse off or better, and not wallow, as it were, in your thing. And the last one is gratitude. Yes, I got problems and I got stressed and my back hurts and I have this illness and that illness. What can I be grateful? What have I been blessed with in my life? What can I be positive about? Positive. All of these things have profound effects on your brain and on your body and on your mind and on your heart and on your life and on your health. So that's the intro to this handout of 7 intentions. Now we're going to do the meditation, and I'm going to guide you in a brief meditation for the mind, mindfulness, and a brief meditation for the heart, compassion, kindness. By way of final commentary, this is a training. We're going to train mind, mindful and aware moment, and you're going to train your mind and next week you're going to practice 10 minutes a day. You're going to think about these handouts. This is the handout that I sent her. My patient. When I say old patient, I don't mean he's old. I mean he's an old patient because he was my patient 20 years ago. Not patient, student in the senior center. And he carries this crumpled piece of paper around with him. And whenever we come to class, he takes it out. He's my resident expert on these intentions. So I'm recommending them to. Okay. So that was my way of making sure we had this recorded for you to listen, and we'll get that info from Jason. And does anybody want to ask anything or comment on this, or maybe just which one of those is easy for you and which one is difficult? I shared with you after years of practice, patience is still a challenge for me, just from my upbringing. I go into a restaurant, like, why am I have to wait for the table? How come I didn't get a table? I have to wait online. I still don't do well waiting online, but I'm aware of it, and it becomes an opportunity. So questions, anybody want to share? We'll just go around and just pick one that's easy and pick one that's hard or challenging. Let's just go around. Barbara, you have one that's easy for you?
Patience and probably
Okay. Yes. So how to work with that? Be aware. Be aware. What's happening now? Oh, there's a part of me reacting. Can I see that? What's that like? Where's that coming from? As opposed to, I got to try to accept. That's striving. So these are intentions. My intention is to be more accepting. How? By noticing I'm not accepting. My intention is to be more patient. How? By noticing all the times I'm not patient, I'm impatient. Make sense? And that's our awareness that we cultivate in practice. Let's go around quickly.
Trust. I'm very trusting and probably too trust. It becomes natural. Confident in others and how they treat me. And I'm confident and trusting.
Okay, so that's positive. Yeah. What's the difficult? What's the challenge?
Acceptance and letting go.
Yeah.
Both are hard. Hang on, it goes around.
Yeah. So
Like the answer and feel.
exactly. So the challenge there is not to try to let go, but notice you're holding on. And when you notice you're holding on, in that awareness, there's the space to let go. The let go happens naturally. We're not that's where the non-striving. All of this comes together in you might call it just love, just being accepting and loving and kind and present with yourself as it is, as a start. And then we can respond instead of react. What's one that's seemingly easy or relatively easy for you? Yes. Yes.
No, look at the good side. And let go of that.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know why this human mind and stuff. And then I don't know if you do it, but right after grief went over,
Right.
and we spent 4 years around
Right.
the world. We can wow.
Yeah.
And absorbing it. We just put the best.
So you had rainy days
Oh,
and you had storms and you had dark clouds. So you've learned on that trip, you probably learned all of these intentions or lived through them to get around the world in a sailboat. And so now it's just, how do I bring those lessons? And that's what I was saying to you, in different parts of our life, we are patient in different ways. So I might be anxious on the waiting in traffic on one hand, but when I sit with a patient, I'm okay. Let just sit and be there, and it's okay. Yeah, exactly. Right. So no, just notice. All I want you to be aware of this week is just notice these intentions and how they play in your life. And you mentioned something important too. It's not black and white. Yeah, it's great to be trusting. Maybe sometimes I'm too trusting. So everything is, is finding a balance of what works the best for you in the most conscious way possible. That's coming from you. It's not a black and white, accept everything. It's a real facing of what is. It's not trust everything. It's just noticing and sometimes letting the trust happen because of the evolution of it, as opposed to forcing anything. That's, again, I want to emphasize, that's the intention. The intention. It's a movement towards. It's not an event. And when we think of forgiveness and letting go, it's an intention. You don't just, I'm angry at you when you did that. I think I'm just going to let go and forgive you. No, it's a process. And I have to, when I practice forgiveness, I get in touch with, I'm angry. I get in touch with, I don't want to forgive you. I get in touch with, it wasn't nice what you did. But I have to go through that in order to let go, in order to process it. In French, letting go. Easy? Yeah. Anything difficult? You mentioned you were a carpenter and you married 50 years. There must have been some part of that has been a challenge at some point, I'm imagining. Right. Um, so you're holding on to some stuff. Yeah, okay. So, yeah. So let go can be things, declutter our lives, not just necessarily emotions or issues. It can also be things that we hold on to, old, whatever. That's part of that too. Yeah. So we all have what we call security blankets, where we're holding on to things. So just be aware of that, and that's fine. And all of this is a process of self-awareness and self-regulation and self-healing. Even it's like, how can I be with it before I react and judge? And we do all of this to ourselves. We're impatient with ourselves. We don't trust ourselves. We judge ourselves. We're pretty harsh. So that's where the kindness and the compassion comes in. What's on your end? Yes. Yes. Not judging. Yes. So again, just be aware. That's all for this week. Just 1 week. Look at them. Be aware in each moment. Am I open? Am I accepting? What can I see fresh? What can I see new? So we had a couple. I don't know if you were there, Maria, but we had this couple. This was years ago. I know you went back. We went. Yeah, and they had been married for was it 70 years? They were both in their 90s. They'd been married for 70 years, and I'm talking about this stuff. And they shared. They keep a beginner's mind. How do they make every day fresh and new? And they said they shared two things I thought was interesting. They would have a flower at breakfast every morning, but every morning he would hide it in a different place, and she'd have to find where the flower is. And that was a game they would play to make, where's the flower going to be today? And then when they would drive to the center, they would take a different route every time and discover things. So we live in Westport, and I walked downtown the other day, and there's a honey store. How long you been here? 2 years. You've been here for 2 years. I didn't even, So there's a lot of things that are going on that we don't see. And a lot of openings, like, what can I do today that's different with my thing? Or, just the thought of sailing around the world, what's the weather going to be like today? And we have to just go with the flow and accept, right? There's a lot of lessons that go with that. So this is a process of looking inside and being with yourself. And these teachings, I emphasize them because we can practice them even if we don't sit and meditate all day long. We can have the intention. What can I learn? Or I meet somebody and I'm judging them and go, maybe what can I see about them that I didn't know before? What can I learn? Okay. You want to share? What's easy for you? Yeah, generosity. Yeah, good. Sharing is good. All of this is to make us happy, by the way. This is how we get happy. This is what happiness in meditation is being this way. It's healing. It's good for us. No judging, patient, kind, in the moment, compassionate, generous, gratitude, etc. So, young man, patience. You got it in you got it or you don't got it? What do you think? You have the patience now. At your age, you got to pull. Did they teach that? You learned it over the years. That's like. I know. I hear you. I know. I need it. Yes. Yeah,
Oh, there's a lot of-
that's it. Tomorrow I'm playing. Well, we went out on the course once, so it was good. And all of this is in life. And these are lessons that our life and aging teaches us. Imagine we approach our illness, our stress, our pain, our difficulties, our challenges in life, not as, oh my God, there's a problem, I hate it, it's ruining my life, to what can it teach me? How can I learn from it? How can it make me stronger, better? It's here. I want to get rid of it. I don't like it. It's not, but can I learn to deal with it in as positive a way as possible? There was a young man, and there are two stories I'll tell. Then we're going to meditate. Okay. You've all heard of Tuesdays with Maury. Tuesdays with Maury. He wrote a book. The book was Tuesdays with Maury, and he was a man that was diagnosed with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. It's a disease and aging of the nervous system and the muscles, and it's not a fun disease when your body is no disease is fun when you're aging, affecting whatever part of your body. It's not fun. It's hard. But the story was how he chose to have that disease, how he chose to be with that disease. Did he want to get cured? Yes. Did he see his doctors? Yes. Did he do what he needed to do to do the right medicine? Yes. But most important was his attitude, was how he chose to be with what was happening. And there was a young man, I don't remember the exact details. This was over 20 years ago, I think, on Anderson Cooper. It was a young boy with a very, very rare disease where he had to stay in the house and he had a very weak immune system and there was no cure. And he said to himself, and this was the beauty of the story, if I have to have this disease and if I'm going to die from this disease, then I'm going to learn from it and I'm going to be the person who learned the most about this disease than anybody who's ever had the disease. Okay? And that's what he chose to do. And it was early on with the internet. He had a whole blog and he would tell people how he was. And he couldn't go to school, but the school helped him. And he had a following. And they listened to his blog. And even though he didn't go to school, they had an honorary graduation for him and the whole school. He became a worldwide celebrity. And then when he passed away, I think he was 21 years old, it was like, he had left a mark of healing to the whole world by how he chose to have it. And that's really the essence here of what we're teaching about awareness and mindfulness. If you can appreciate this, and Viktor Frankl wrote Man's Search for Meaning. He said, one thing can be taken from a person. He called it the last of human freedom. The right to choose one's own way in any given set of circumstances. Each of us are in our own given set of circumstances. Our life, our mind, our body, our families, our past, our present situations, our aches, our pains, our diseases, our genetic, whatever it is. And our freedom, our power is in how we choose to deal with it, to face it. And these intentions and mindfulness and compassion, it's not just, oh, feel good. It's actually medicine that moves you to heal. Okay, so let's practice now and close the eyes. I'm going to show you how to do it, teach you how to do it. It's very simple to train the puppy dog mind. You can meditate when we're sitting, we're walking, we're talking, but for now, the meditation is to sit. And we're going to sit and we're going to feel our feet on the floor, our hands in the lap. And the phrase is, imagine we're tuning a violin bow or a guitar string, not too tight, not too loose. We want the body to be not, I'm meditating and I'm tight and rigid. I can't play music. And I'm not, I'm meditating and we're going to sit straight. We're going to be in the moment. We're going to close our eyes. And we're going to look inside and be aware that I'm alive. I'm breathing. Notice your breath. Inhale, exhale. Breathing in, breathing out. And just have the image, if it works, I'm taking my puppy dog for a walk. What does that mean? My mind is going to wander. It's going to start thinking about what I have to do later, what happened yesterday. It's going to have a thought, a judgment. And that's okay. We're going to notice it. Just like we notice when the puppy dog leaves our side and we're going to pull it back and go, come on back. So we're to train the mind to be in the now, to come back to the moment. Like the puppy dog, we just notice and we go, come back. And where we come back to is the breath. Be aware that you're breathing. Feel the air going in and out of your nostrils. Or feel your abdomen and chest rising on the inhale, falling on the exhale as you fill up with oxygen and release carbon dioxide. Every breath, purification. Just breathing. Nothing to judge, nothing to make happen, no one to become. No experience to have, just observe your breath. Just notice I'm here now, breathing. How my mind wanders, come on back. Thinking about yesterday, come back. I'm training my mind with love, with kindness. So the simplest of practice, sit down, find a quiet place, quiet time, maybe the same time every day, maybe before breakfast, after breakfast, sometime in the day. Make a habit like brushing your teeth, taking a shower, just to sit down for 10 minutes and meditate. Close the eyes, tune into the body, relax the body in the chair. Scan your body even to watch your feet and your calves and your knees and hips. Come into the moment, feel your back against the chair and your buttocks in the chair and your hands relaxed and shoulders relaxed and down. Breathe into your face and your head and your eyes and your forehead, relaxing. No stress, just be here now. Your mind is ready to just sit, just be. Your body relaxed, the heart calm and peaceful. And you sit. You watch your breathing. You tune in. Choose one of these two places to pay attention. Your nostrils, where the air enters and leaves, feel it, sense the air coming and going. Focus your attention. Bring your mind to be aware of your breathing at the nostrils. Or, which feels stronger, to notice the chest moving up and down, inhale and exhale. Expanding on the inhale with the diaphragm, exhale and contracting, pushing out the air. Pick one of those two places and observe. Just observe. This is the training. I'm going to ring a bell. We're going to sit 5 minutes, watching the breath, observing the breath. Intention. Inner's mind. What's it like to meditate? Intention. To be with this breath. Be in this moment. Things are as they are. Breath by breath. One breath at a time. One inhale, one exhale. So we're going to have silence. Your mind is going to wander. It's the problem. And then you're going to be aware and go, oh, come on back to my breath. I'm alive. I'm breathing. That's how I know I'm alive. That's how I know I'm in the moment. I'm aware of my breath. Inhaling, exhaling. nowhere to go, nothing to do, no one to become, nothing to make happen. Just be here now and breathe. Let the mind wander, bring it back, just like you let the puppy dog go, and lovingly bring it back. In a moment, I'll ring the bell that will end this sitting period. When you hear the bell, let it be part of your awareness, your attention, that you've been paying attention to the breath and bringing it back when the mind wanders again and again. Just hear the sound of the bell. And when you hear the final tone, then allow yourself to be aware the meditation period is over, and then begin to gently bring movement to the body, and then gently open the eyes. So there's no reaction to the sound of the bell. Meditation is over and quick opening and movement. There's a slow awareness of the sound and a gradual acknowledgement and a choice and a response to the bell. Open the eyes and move the body. So you just practiced 10 minutes of mindfulness. You took your puppy dog mind for a walk for 10 minutes. It wandered. The breath was there to come home to again and again. We learned about the 7 intentions. And this is a training. It's a training of the mind to be here now. So you can see clearly and make wise choices about how to respond, about how to deal with the challenges of life from a place of wisdom and compassion. While we're quiet and inward seeking, we guide you briefly in the compassion practice, also part of the practice, briefer than the meditation. Close the eyes again, sit in a meditative pose. Bring your awareness to the breath. And again, the intention is to be here now with patience, with non-judgment, with a beginner's mind, with acceptance, with all of the intentions of being here now in the moment. And instead of breathing in and out through the nostrils or the chest rising and falling, imagine that your breath is going in and out of your heart. Your heart. The caring heart, the loving heart, the compassion. And this too requires training. Mindfulness to see things as they are, and the compassion to be with it with a heart of kindness and compassion. And we start with ourselves. Just to be gentle with ourselves. Especially when life is difficult, when there's a challenge, or when we face a pain. Just to acknowledge this is hard. Part of me is having difficulty with this. I'm stressed, I'm scared, I'm worried. It hurts. It's not easy. Just an acknowledgement of the truth. Part of me is having a hard time. It's part of life. Part of being human. Everybody feels this. I'm not alone. Can I be kind to myself like I would if my loved one was going through the same thing, or if a friend or neighbor, they were having the difficulty that I'm having? I'd wish them well. I'd be kind to them. I'd have compassion for their pain, for their difficulty. Can I bring that to myself? Yes, I want to heal. Yes, I don't like this. Yes, this is difficult. Yes, it's scary. It's painful. It's all of that, maybe stressful. And I may have to make decisions about what to do. But at the same time, how can I be with it with compassion, kindness? That's simple process of self-compassion. This is hard. It's difficult. It's painful for me. Acknowledging it's part of my being human. This is what happens. I'm not alone. Other people gone through this or going through this, and it's hard. And I'm going to be kind to myself. I'm going to be compassionate in the midst of it. And we're gentle with ourselves. We wish ourselves well, kind to ourselves, not judging, blaming, kind, like we would a friend. So think of someone in your life that may be going through a challenging time in part of their life, and mind and body, health issues, something, person you care about. And as you picture them, think of them with compassion, with kindness. Acknowledge they're hurting. Acknowledge you feel for them. Acknowledge you wish kindness for them and compassion. You care. And they're not alone. You're okay. You can be with it with kindness, compassion. And it's a simple context of breathe in this difficulty, and breathe out compassion and kindness. It's almost welcoming it. Okay, I see you. I know you're here. I'm going to be with you with kindness. It requires training, intention. Given the world we're in these days, given our own lives and our own challenges, that song, what the world needs now is love, kindness, compassion. Can we give it to ourselves? Can we give it to ourselves? Still do what we need to do to heal or retreat or to get better. We can do it with love, with compassion, with kindness, with patience. And that sense, like even in this class, we're all in it together. Everybody's going through life with its joys and sorrows. So may we have compassion for ourselves, may we have compassion for each other. Be kind. So the suggestions, your challenges over the next week is to find a time to sit for 10, 15 minutes. Practice the meditation. Watch your breath. Walk the puppy dog. Let it wander. Bring it back. Practice 5 minutes of kindness, compassion for yourself and others that are struggling with whatever. Read these handouts and think of these intentions. And look at the rest of the handouts and teachings, which we'll go over next week. You're welcome to come to class on Thursday as well. But we don't meditate in that sense, but we're really applying the teachings. That's the next part for next class. And last piece, the last part, quote of my book, So I wanted to read it to you because it's the essence of what we talk. As we are present in our lives, be here now, as we are present in our lives and conscious, aware of our power to choose how to be with what's happening, we cultivate greater happiness in everyday life. It's not what's happening, it's how we choose to deal with it. With a mind of mindfulness and kindness and a heart of compassion. And it's real medicine. Take practice and training. Okay? So before we stop, any final thoughts, questions, comments? You guys, yes, sir. Mhm.
No.
I appreciate it. Yes, find your meaning, find your purpose, find your passion, and share it and live it. And along the way, I don't have to tell each of you, there's going to be a little stress every now and then, and an ache and a pain and a hurt. Okay? So we'll talk about that. What is your passion? And sailing around the world. And what I'd like to offer for this week, just practice what I suggested. But next week, we'll pick maybe one little thing and we'll say, how do I apply this to my life? How can I deal with my difficulty, my grief, my situation? How can I relate to it with some wisdom and some passion and kindness? And it will change everything. It really does. Okay, guys. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for coming. Thank you for attention. This will be on the internet for you to access at your leisure. And we will see you next week.
Yep.
Or Thursday. Or Thursday. Thank you for coming, Barbara. Practice. That's my website, www.drpaulepstein.com.
Oh, that's just to my daughter to watch.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
She's
Oh.
13.
Oh, good. You can bring her to class too. Good to see you. Practice. I stopped the video. I don't know if I did stop the recording.
You're the winner.
That is very cute.
I